Alright, here's some Sportster heads. I've already got some valve jobs done on them. You can see what they look like. So this one here is a 7,000 heads that was previously boarded by somebody. So some light on there better. So did a decent job. Nothing real serious, but fairly good job. Screw them up. So I got a good valve job on in here, new guides and everything. And then I unshroud the valves so they get all covered up by the previous valve jobs. So when the valves are in there, these are all kibble white black diamond valves. Get the exhaust and intakes on the right head. So when you get these things all in here, you can see how that as soon as the valve comes off the seat, we're flowing air. And it's not buried in a hole or anything like that. So you get full advantage of whatever you got for cam and lift. So, plus we have a multiple valve angle, and it just makes them flow really good when you do that. So the valves themselves have several angles on them, as well as the seats. So, and they get sunk down a little bit depending on how much cam lift you want. So if you start running 425, 450 lift on these Ironheads, you gotta start sinking the valves down. And most of these heads have valve jobs, so it kind of works together. This set over here is a 900 set, but you can see the same thing happens when you get them all flowed out. This has the big 1000 style valve in it, so it's the same basic thing. You can tell this intake's sunk a little bit more than what these other ones were. So that's what they look like. Now this set over here is a set of 82 and later style heads, which are the rubber band. They got the thick flanges on here. And these are ones I set that I did a full port job on them. So we got oversized exhaust valves on here. These are 1 5/8. So you can see after you port these things all out, it's pretty straight flow all the way through. Here's your exhaust. So it's pretty good. Obviously there's your intake port here. So you see how that opens up pretty good through there. So the key on these things is to get these things opened up back in here. Stock, they're always open on one side. But the trick is to get them opened up over on this side over in here. And you do not want to be cutting away your short side up underneath here. It's just hard just to show you because you can't really see in there. But you want to keep this height from here down into here as high as you can so it keeps the flow going. Otherwise you got a really short side here and a real long side over here, and it doesn't work as good. Now I also sink these bowls way down, and I also make them a lot bigger. So once again, when you open the valves up, you are flowing air. So you can see here, from this side here, so as soon as you open this thing up, you got the air flowing through there. From this side here, you can see the same thing. Hopefully you can get a better view of it. So once you open that up, you got good flow around the valve head, even though it's down into a hole a little bit because of the high lift cam. It's got good flow, and the more you open up, the more it flows. Now the other thing you can do on top of all this work is you can go in here and blend this edge away a little bit right here. You blend it from here to here and knock off that little top of the peak right there. That's a trade-off between keeping compression in the motor and more high RPM flow. So easy for racing, I'll go in there, I'll blend that out a little bit. It's just a matter of how sharp that edge is. So anyway, that's how these look like. And this one here has the same porting. You see how it's pretty equal on both sides around the guide in there. And you do the same thing on the exhaust. So you do a lot of cutting on the one side. So it's hard to see in here, but you get my finger in there, it's pretty equal on both sides. See, you can see the finger pretty well on both sides in there. And that focus sure don't focus in there, does it? But anyway, that's what you're trying to do. So, yeah, that's what these things look like. Continue on.